Right, final event of the season at Curborough. We've got the 2-lap course today and the figure of 8 tomorrow. It's going to be one of those weekends. Forecast sun and sunny spells all day today, and then rain all day tomorrow. So we need to make the most of today. I've not done anything with the clutch. We're going to hold out. I now think it's the release bearing, but at some point over the winter I'm going to have to open the bell housing or get the garage to and have a good look and see what's up. There's definitely something up. It doesn't feel right, but it's holding together. As long as I'm gentle with it, we're all right. So yeah, we've done a 66 dead in practice. We're now after lunch. We've got 2 timed runs only, 2 shots to put a good lap in. 65.4 or 65.5 is my time from earlier in the year. So if we can do something like that again, that's good enough. I don't think I'm going to win the class because there's some fast people in today. Somebody's already done a 64 pecker in practice, so I'm going to have a hell of a job on to win the class, but if we can get a 65.5, that's good enough. Should be there. Conditions are very good. Time of year again, so it's not hot, it's only 10 degrees, but it's one of those 10 degrees days. But the sun's out, it's very windy, but we'll take this. Tomorrow's going to be a lot worse. So let's see how this run goes, and then we'll give it everything on the last run. Although I've got to be mindful to look after the clutch. Definitely still more time there, even though that's a PB. If the sun stays out, get a bit more heat in the tyres, it's still very understeery in places, and the start was pretty much terrible, but good time overall. Right, coming down for second run. We are probably only going to get 2. Time's ticking on. So 65.1 on the first one, a new PB for this layout, which is good, but we are a couple of tenths behind the class leader. I think it's Nick in the Porsche GT4 and Pekka in the turboed Mazda messed that one up or had issues and did a 64.9 in practice. So if we want to win, we need to be a 64.9, so a couple of tenths off, which may well be there. The sun stayed out in the main. It is a bit warmer now, so who knows, we will just give it everything, less the gear changes that we're going to have to be very gentle with still, but it's whether the front end grips there will determine the time. Yeah, understeering on a lot of corners now. We have less grip at the front, so if the track's warmed up enough and the tyres have warmed up enough, we might be all right, but we will see. Let's see where we get to. So I didn't know where to stop. Alex, and that cost me 65.03. Fuck. Shaved a tenth off, but not the 2 tenths needed. And bollocks. So close. It would have been a 64, but I just didn't know where to brake for this hairpin down this end because the marker board had been took out. So guessed the braking point, went in way too deep, and then it understeered, and that cost me. But still shaved a tenth off. It's just gutting. I ain't gonna win now, but hey oh, it's a new PB again. I don't think we're gonna get another run, but we'll see. Right, bonus run time. We do like a bonus run. Just squeeze one in at the end of the day. The sun has stayed out. Can we get a 64? Anything in the 64s I will be over the moon with, regardless of where it leaves me in class. I think I'm third in class at the minute. Leader's on a 64.5, then there's a 64.9, and 2 of us on a 65 flat. But yeah, just needing the tenth off. As I said, when I analysed the last run, I did lose 3 tenths by outbraking myself, looking for a board marker that had been blown over. It's still blown over, but at least I know what I'm looking at now for a braking point. So we just nail that. Hopefully we can get a 64. Dare say Yeah, another good time, 65.1 again, but a bit too sideways in a couple of places. Almost there. We'll have to save a 64 for another day. Close, but no cigar. 3 very good times though, all within a few hundredths of each other, so can't moan at that. Right, day 2 at Curborough. We had 2 practices this morning. First time run after lunch. The heavens are about to open. Rain is forecast for about an hour's time. It's held off so far, but all afternoon is going to be wet, so we are only going to get this one run. That is it, one and done. Might even pack up and go home after this because it's going to be pointless once it's raining. So yeah, all or nothing. We've done a 68 and a 67 in practice. The target's a 66.5. It's going to be a tough ask. It's very cold. The track and tyre temperature is just not there as it was yesterday. Yeah, so we will just send it and see what grip we get. I've pumped the tyres up. It feels better, but the times are slow, but that could be just everything else. So we've put a few more PSI in the front and the back because they're not going to get any heating whatsoever. And we'll just see what time we can get, see if we can get into a 66. I think I'll be happy getting the target time of 66.5 if that is achievable. My PB is a 65.5, so a second quicker than that, but as I said, conditions are far from ideal and it's about to rain at any point, so let's just see what we can do. Best I could. What does that come to? 66.81. Yeah, it ain't gonna get much better than that today, so we're just shy of the target time, a couple of attempts shy. But we've got into a 66. Bit scruffy in a couple of places, but yeah, it was solid enough. See what everybody else does. I don't think we're going to be here for a second run because the heavens are about to open, but we will see. Right, we are going to do timed run 2. It has just started spitting. The rain has held off for the vast majority of the day, but there is now, it is spitting on the windscreen, so I can't see us going any quicker. question is, can I hold on for the class win? So I am leading after that first run, but a couple of people made errors that, if they don't make errors, may well go quicker. So let's say I'll just give it, it's the last run of the year, so I want to give it some, but I have got to get home. There's clutch issues, as we know, and the weather is far from ideal, so we will see how it goes. I think in the greasy conditions. Yeah, 69.3, miles off, but you can only do what you can do. I didn't want to risk it too much. I think if I had risked it, I'd have ended up having a big accident. So let's see if that's enough to win the class. And that's it for the season. And see where we finish in all the championships. Right, final event of the season finished at Curborough. 2-day meeting. The weather stayed better than expected. So Saturday was glorious for the time of the year. Cold but sunny and dry and as good as can be expected, which resulted in some very good times. So we did a 65.1, a 65 flat and another 65.1. All new PBs, but disappointed, as I said, on the day, because there was definitely a 64 in there on any one of those 3 runs. Yeah, a bit of understeer, a bit of outbraking, and then on the last one a bit leery out of the last corner, all cost me a few tenths, half a second. So, and that would have been the win. I think the winner was a 64.5 or 64.6, so yeah, like about 4 tenths slower, faster. So we finished 4th in class, which was again a little disappointment. It was so close, less than half a second between 4 of us. Could have been any way round, any which way round on another day. But can't be too disheartened, because another PB, so the 3rd time there, and every time I'm going back on that layout on the 2-lapper, I'm getting quicker and quicker. And then on to the Sunday. Yeah, very poor conditions respectively. Cold all day, windy all day, damp, although the first run was dry, but there was that wetness stroke drizzle in the air. And then the second one, it was actually drizzling and very greasy on the surface, which just got worse and worse as the runners come through. So it was one run and done, as I mentioned, which fortunately I put the best time in. So pretty much the same people there as before, and it would have been very close again. But yeah, in the end, I think I won by 2 seconds, because I managed to nail a run of 66.8, which my PB is a 65.6, so it's like 1.2 seconds off, but you're never going to get near a PB when conditions are like they were. So about, I said on the video, about as good as I could do in the circumstances. So we're happy with that at 66.8, only a couple of attempts off the target time. Yeah, and everybody else on that first run had an issue or made a mistake and didn't put a respective time in, and then on the second run the drizzle had just started. I pushed as much as I could and it was 3 seconds off, and everybody were 3-4 seconds off. Yeah, and then throughout the afternoon after that, for the other runners, it just got worse and worse. So ultimately we won the class again. So yeah, I think that's still a 100% record when it's damp or wet. We win the class, which is good. So yeah, overall that was the last event of the season. That was for the HSA one. I believe I finished 2nd in the Bark Championship, 3rd in the Nottingham Championship, and 5th in the HSA Championship. But I'll wait for everything to be 100% confirmed. But yeah, overall a good season, despite the tyres, me moaning about the tyres time and time again, and even this weekend, the lack of front grip on the AD09s was very evident. So there's a lot of us going back to the AO52s next year. They are the most expensive, but you get what you pay for. And then the clutch issue needs sorting. I'm 90% convinced now it's the pilot bearing. So the shaft from the gearbox apparently has a bearing around it to stop it moving about, and over time and over wear they just wear out. So it sounds, all the symptoms sound like that. And then when that wears out, the shaft's moving about, so the clutch disc and flywheel is moving about, and that's when sometimes it's sticking when it shouldn't be sticking, and it's not going in gear. It sounds, somebody else had the same issue and are explaining it to me, and it sounds exactly like that. So we need to get that done over the winter period, a new pilot bearing, and then while the bell housing's open, we'll have a look at the clutch, and if the clutch is on its way out anyway, we'll replace that. Finally need to seal the fuel system. It is again 90% there, but there's still a whiff of fuel sometimes going around certain corners at certain angles, so it's probably just seeping out, or the fumes are getting out somewhere from the seal. So I'll have another look at that. Yeah, and then other than that, other than tyres, we'll go again next season and decide what to do. But all in all, a good year. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you.